Hello and welcome back from Thanksgiving break. I'm Courtney Gear.
And I'm Ryan Snyder. Coming up, we'll profile one graduating QU student who has big plans for the future.
And we'll check out students' reactions to the release of an upcoming film. Topping our news this week, as finals week approaches, students are preparing for their exams. While there are many ways to approach studying, some prove more beneficial than others. One student talks about how he studies for exams.
I say no to all going out, no parties, stay in my room or go to the library to study. And I say no to all.
Students can use to battle finals are to create a to-do list, break exams into smaller study units, ask for help when you need it, review old tests and study guides, and quiz yourself. This is also a time when power naps can be necessary. Make sure you get enough sleep at night, and if you need to, take a 20-minute nap during the day to refresh your mind and add that extra boost of energy.
The QU airways will soon be filled with music and radio shows from Hawk Radio. This is due in large part to the constant efforts of a graduating senior, TC Pearsall. In his final semester of college, TC is seeing his hard work paying off with the official launch of Hawk Radio right around the corner. We sat down with TC to talk more about Hawk Radio as well as his plans for the future. TC Pearsall has been an influence on QU media for some time, is seeing the fruits of his labor with the full release of Hawk Radio just a short time away from hitting the airwaves. The senior journalism major from Hannibal, Missouri has been a leading force in the creation of Hawk Radio and has been involved in other aspects of QU media as well during his tenure at QU. TC has been involved in other radio stations in Quincy as well as in his hometown of Hannibal, gaining valuable real-world experience while still a student at QU. He has high hopes for Hawk Radio as well as high hopes for himself as he is soon to enter the workforce upon graduation at the end of the semester.
But I like to think that Hawk Radio is a result of my 3.5 years of just poking and prodding at the communications department saying, hey, we should have a radio station. Hey, remember that radio station we had? We should get another one. I have so many big ideas for Hawk Radio that I hope get put into action. I want us to be at every sporting event, reporting like on every game, every match. I want us to be at just major events in Quincy, not even just affiliated with the university.
Have you tried to post a Facebook status or send out a tweet and had trouble because of slow Wi-Fi? The word on campus is that many students have. Slow Wi-Fi on the Quincy University campus has become an increasing problem with many students connecting to QU's Wi-Fi via laptops, cell phones, and gaming systems. The Wi-Fi naturally becomes bogged down, and with finals week approaching, this becomes even more problematic. QU All Access recently sat down with the director of the IT to talk Wi-Fi.
There's a couple of things that are causing some of this. First off, load on the access points obviously does have an impact on them. So the more devices that are connecting, and as we are bringing in more and more PlayStations and tablets and cell phones, it's putting more strain on the Wi-Fi. But the other piece is the number of access points that we have. The more we have, the better it is. So we are over time trying to add more and more access points to the area. But it's an expensive endeavor, so it takes time to get them all situated the way we want them to be.
A recent grant from Dot Foods of $75,000 for an updated Wi-Fi system in Francis Hall will help rectify the problem in the future.
If you are looking for a movie that's out of this world over break, you don't have to travel to a galaxy too far, far away. Many Star Wars fans are awaiting the opening of the franchise's newest film since Revenge of the Sith in 2005. Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens, is set 30 years after the conclusion of Return of the Jedi. Many fans are also anxious to see the Harrison Ford, Mark Hamill, and Carrie Fisher before return to the big screen as the respected characters. The Force is set to release in theaters on December 18th. We went around campus to see what students and faculty members' reactions are to the new film.
I'm excited for the Star Wars movies because a while ago we had a Star Wars marathon. Whenever I was younger, we kind of spent one night like watching a whole bunch of them all in a row. It was really neat. So I'm looking forward to the new one that's coming out to see what they're doing to see if it's creative and sticking with the storyline.
Yeah, I'm really excited for Star Wars. The reason why I'm so excited is because obviously all the other Star Wars movies happened like before I was born, but I got really into them, once I was old enough to see them. And so seeing one come out in my lifetime is really special for me. I love Star Wars so much.
Oh yeah, I'm excited. And I think I'm most excited to see it with my family. Like, I'm excited that it's a new chapter, and I'm also really excited to share this experience with my family.
I'm really excited because Star Wars is something I grew up with. Everyone in my family is just crazy about it, so the fact that we get to continue on with the story and then have that experience together as a family again is going to be really cool.
When we come back, we'll take a look at a mass shooting that has left California devastated.
And look what the U.S. plans to do as they move forward against ISIS. We'll be right back.
Yes. Growing up, I had one deaf friend, and that was the only deaf person I knew before coming to school here at QU. And now I regularly get to hang out and socialize with the deaf community, which has been awesome. Sign language isn't exactly like learning another spoken language because you use your body, facial expressions, your hands are your instruments. So it is definitely learning a new language. It has its own grammar and syntax and everything. It's not exactly like English like a lot of people think it is.
Wednesday afternoon, California experienced a devastating mass shooting in San Bernardino. 2 suspects are dead and a third person detained close to where 14 people were killed at a California facility for the developmentally disabled. CNN's Randy Kay reports.
Active shooter. That was the warning just before lunchtime in San Bernardino, California, about an hour east of Los Angeles. People inside and outside the building targeted heard the shots. It all happened at a conference facility where a banquet for county officials was taking place. That facility is part of a large building complex that also houses the Inland Regional Center, which provides services to people with disabilities. Within minutes, the San Bernardino police alert they are looking for not one, but possibly as many as 3 shooters.
Multiple people entered the room and began shooting.
The shooters are believed to be dressed in body armor and heavily armed. Police say they came prepared for this attack. Police, SWAT teams, the ATF, and FBI raced to the scene and set up a perimeter. They believe the shooters were still somewhere inside the large complex. Loved ones of those trapped inside also arrive. This man's daughter texted him she was hiding.
Shooting at my work, people shot. In the office waiting for cops.
But she's okay.
Pray for us.
This man got a text from his wife when the shooting started.
She said the guy came in next to her office and I guess started shooting. They locked themselves in her office. They seen bodies on the floor and she said right now ambulance are taking people out in stretchers.
As families wait for answers, California's governor is briefed. So is the president. Schools and hospitals are locked down. Meanwhile, police continue to try and track down the shooters.
We don't know where those shooters are. They are heavily armed and they are possibly wearing body armor, things of that nature. It is not a safe area to be. It's very dangerous, and the fewer innocent people we have in here, the better.
Shortly after it all began, at least a dozen people exit the building, hands up. This man's son was safely evacuated, only after texting his dad that there were live shooters in the building.
He was pretty nervous, pretty upset, worried. He didn't know for sure what was going on. I told him to just hunker down, make sure their cell phones were off, keep the noise, don't make noise, and hide under the desk.
By late afternoon, the suspects are on the run. Witnesses describe seeing 3 men dressed in military-style uniforms carrying long guns. take off in a black SUV. Hours later, a shootout with police leaves 2 suspects dead. More than a dozen victims are also dead, even more wounded, and the motive far from clear. Randy Kay, CNN, Atlanta.
Authorities in France are still tracking down the details of other attacks terrorists were planning for Paris. With more information on the intended target, many Parisians remain uneasy. Reporting Fred Pleitgen has the latest on the investigation.
When French police killed the alleged ringleader of the Paris attacks, Abdelhamid Abaoud, in a raid 2 weeks ago, sources say they probably also thwarted further planned killings. One alleged target, Paris's Jewish community. Clara Kokos is packing her things, leaving France for Israel. She says fear of terrorism is not the only reason, but certainly a factor. Sure, you can walk in the streets, but you could get attacked at any moment, she says. It depends on the neighborhood you're in. When you're on the subway, you could get harassed just for wearing Jewish religious symbols. You're not necessarily going to get killed, but you can easily get attacked. Sources close to the investigation tell CNN after the initial Paris attacks, the cell around Abaoud had further plots, quote, ready to go, against France's transport infrastructure, schools, and also Jewish areas. In January, an Islamist terrorist held up a kosher supermarket, killing 5 people before being gunned down by police. I meet Sasha Reingewirtz, the head of France's Jewish Students' Union, in a Paris cafe. In spite of the recent violence, he thinks Jews should stay in France.
I am very patriotic. I am very proud of my French identity. And this is my country, and I do not intend to leave it. And I'd rather stay here and fight for my rights, to be safe from attacks.
Another place on Abaoud's terrorist target list, Paris's main business area. La Défense is a huge commercial area. About 180,000 people work here, and most of them are business people. Now, according to a source, Abdelhamid Abaoud wanted his cousin to buy him 2 pair of high-end suits and 2 pairs of shoes for about 5,000 euros so that he and an accomplice would blend in when they attacked this area. Even with the alleged ringleader killed, new information about his possible additional plots is alarming to French authorities, still trying to figure out the size and sophistication of the terror network that struck here on November 13th. Fred Pleitgen, CNN, Paris.
More U.S. troops are headed to Iraq. Tuesday, Defense Secretary Ash Carter told Congress that the U.S. military would send a specialized targeting force into Iraq to fight ISIS. Carter says the Special Operations Force will work with the Iraqi government and that the U.S. troops have the advantage that no one else has. Jim Sakuto reports.
After frequent White House denials that U.S. troops would face combat in Iraq and Syria, today the president is ordering dozens of U.S. Special Forces into combat roles involving direct action against ISIS.
These special operators will over time be able to conduct raids, free hostages, gather intelligence, and capture ISIL leaders.
The new expeditionary force will number in the dozens, though support forces will expand its total footprint to about 200.
This force and the operations this force will conduct will provide us additional intelligence that will make our operations much more effective.
Part of their mission, raids like this one in northern Iraq in October. A daring joint operation involving Kurdish commandos and the U.S. Army's Delta Force to free these ISIS-held prisoners. Demonstrating the added danger of direct action, one Delta Force operator, Master Sergeant Joshua Wheeler, was killed. This new deployment to Iraq is in addition to the 50 special forces the U.S. is already deploying on the ground in Syria.
It puts everybody on notice in Syria that you don't know at night who's going to be coming in the window. And that's the sensation that we want all of ISIL's leadership and followers to have. So it's an important capability.
The expanded U.S. combat role comes in the aftermath of Paris, and as progress against ISIS on the battlefield has been halting. Though President Obama declared the group contained in an interview 2 weeks ago.
From the start, our goal has been first to contain, and we have contained them.
Today, however, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Dunford, appeared to contradict his commander-in-chief.
Have we currently contained ISIL?
We have not contained ISIL.
Have they been contained at any time since 2010?
Tactically, in areas they have been. Strategically, they have spread since 2010.
The Specialized Targeting Force is in addition to the Special Forces President Obama authorized in October to aid the fight against ISIS in Syria.
On a lighter note, do you sometimes wonder why you bought that hideous outfit you never wear or the ugly coffee mug you never use? According to recent studies, there may be science behind your shopping. Mary Maloney explains in our Consumer Watch.
Stores are using psychology and research to encourage shoppers to open their wallets. For instance, if items are on the middle of a shelf and if a price ends in 9, studies show people will more likely buy. How the sales clerks treat customers may also influence shoppers. But according to a recent study, the nice guy doesn't always finish first. In fact, rude salespeople in luxury stores can cause customers with lower self-esteem to spend more. And if you think the music you hear is random, think again. The right genre can make shoppers happier and lose track of time. Studies show pop music leads to impulse buys, whereas shoppers may not pay attention to lesser-known music and instead focus on the price. Things to consider to help you shop smarter. For Consumer Watch, I'm Mary Maloney.
Coming up, we'll have an extended look at next week's weather forecast. Stay with us.
Come support your Quincy University baseball team this season. The Hawks compete in the NCAA Division II Great Lakes Valley Conference. Cheer them on as they play for a conference and national championship.
Come see the new renovations at KU Stadium. The turf infield gives the Hawks a great playing surface.
Come out and have some fun and support the KU Hawks baseball team this season.
For more information on the KU Hawks baseball team, go to KUHawks.com and click on the Sports tab and select Baseball.
It isn't a building. It isn't an arena or field. It isn't a classroom. It's a friendship. It's the bonds you form. It's an opportunity. It's the experience. It's a cute thing. Schedule your visit today.
Winter weather has finally arrived as we saw some snow flurries earlier this week.
I may not be ready for it yet, Courtney. Lainey Wade has more on whether or not we can expect to see snow in the extended forecast. Lainey?
Well, if you're dreaming of a white finals week, keep on dreaming because we have mild temperatures for the second week in December. Looking at Friday, it's going to be bright and sunny with a high near 50. Then moving into Saturday, the sun is going to stick around for quite a while and the temperature is going to rise quite a bit. Okay, maybe not that much, but any rise is better than none. We reach a high of 53. Wrapping up our weekend on Sunday, the clouds roll in, but we only drop down 1 degree and reach a high of 52. So looking farther into the week, we can expect about the same temperatures. Monday, there's a possible chance for rain. We do drop down to a high of only 46. And Tuesday, the clouds are going to stick around, and the high is going to reach 47. On Wednesday, clouds are still going to be around, but the sun is going to be there, and it's going to be a high of 50. Wrapping up finals week on Thursday, still going to be partly cloudy with a high of 49 as everybody goes home and enjoys their winter break. That about wraps it up for this weekly forecast. I'm Lainey Wade. Back to you guys at the desk.
If you're looking for some late night fun this Friday, Quincy University is hosting a late night at Scotty's Fun Spot. The fun night starts at 11 p.m. and goes until 2 a.m. There will be shuttles circulating the Padua parking lot starting at 10:45, and all students must have their KU IDs to board the shuttle. While at the Fun Spot, students can play unlimited laser tag, bumper cars, and skate. All students are invited to attend for the fun before the crazy of finals week begins. Coming up, we'll hear from QU's new softball coach, and we'll take a final look at how QU athletics are doing before the Christmas break. Stay with us.
QUTV is more than a news outlet.
1 in 5 undergrads work at least 35 hours a week, year-round.
Students involved with QUTV learn life lessons, create lasting memories, and gain the experience needed to succeed in future careers. Students need to be involved with QUTV as a viewer or as a participant because we need to know what's going on around our campus. Knowledge is powerful, and QUTV News serves to inform not only the students, but the Quincy University community as a reliable and powerful news network. QUTV is more than a news outlet.
1 in 5 undergrads work at least 35 hours a week, year-round.
Students involved with QUTV learn life lessons, create lasting memories, and gain the experience needed to succeed in future careers. Students need to be involved with QUTV as a viewer or as a participant because we need to know what's going on around our campus. Knowledge is powerful, and QUTV News serves to inform not only the students, but the Quincy University community as a reliable and powerful news network.
This week in sports, we meet the new head softball coach.
And we see if the women's basketball team can remain unbeaten this season. Andrew McCulloch has all the details. Andrew?
A few weeks ago, an announcement was made regarding the future of the women's softball program for Quincy University. Much to the surprise of most around campus, Lady Hawks softball coach Shar Obert stepped down as head coach. Carla Piscini, a former QU Lady Hawks softball player, was shortly named the new head coach of the team. Piscini was not surprised by Obert's decision, as she was already informed by Obert of her choice to step down. Piscini, a member of the 2010 and 2011 NCAA tournament teams, has been under the guide of Obert for the last few seasons as the team's associate head coach. Piscini feels excited and blessed to take on this new role.
And that's a dream, and I feel so fortunate that I'm going after my dreams, and it's a start of a whole new chapter in my life, and I couldn't imagine doing it with any greater people than who's around me.
The Lady Hawks basketball team entered their Thanksgiving holiday weekend game against Central Missouri with a perfect 4-0 record. Meanwhile, for the Jennies of Central Missouri, their beginning to the season has been anything but perfect, as they sported a 1-3 record entering the game. Could Coach Garber's team remain undefeated? We have the action for you from Pepsi Arena. This action is going to start with Carly Beebe finding Maggie Cunningham for the layup off the glass there and in. Well, you know Maggie Cunningham is going to return the favor. It's going to be Beebe with the layup there, easy deuce. How about Maggie Cunningham this next play? All the way from half court to the basket. Wild layup, drops for Cunningham. And we're going to get Megan Winstryer in on the action. Pull-up jumper, nothing but the bottom of the net there. Lady Hawks off to a hot start. It's going to be Kara Gerbis finding Rachel Rusevich there for the jumper. Next play here, Winstryer, another three there. Actually, her first splash of the highlight there, but it goes in nonetheless. This play here, a wide open layup for the Lady Hawks. That one, Maggie Cunningham. How about Erin Menemeyer, mouse in the house, free cheese. She's got the height advantage on that one, and she's not done in the post, as she's going to move to her left, off the glass and in for the easy two. Next play here, it's going to be Kara Gerbis in the post of her own. How about off the glass and in for Gerbis? She's not done, though. She's going to knock down this corner mid-range jump shot to get the Lady Hawks going. Second half action, it's going to be Carly Beebe to Maggie Cunningham yet again to get the second half going on the easy layup. Cunningham now going to feed Sarah Schumacher for the easy deuce. Next play, it's going to be Annika Webster attacking the basket with ferociousness as she makes that deuce there. Next play here, another easy layup for Carly Beebe. The Lady Hawks getting a lot of easy baskets here as Maggie Cunningham drives and makes the layup there. Cunningham, a very solid game. And to put the icing on top, it's going to be Winstryer, another three as the Lady Hawks win this one. Close game it was, but by a final score of 68-65. They're now 5-0 on the season. Cunningham, 18 points, 8 assists. Winstryer, 12 points herself. So after nearly upsetting Division I opponent Illinois State, the men's basketball team went back to work, but this time on the road against Lindenwood University. Looking to get back to 500 on the season, the Hawks relied on a sharpshooter mentality as they drained 15 three-pointers en route to an easy 88-72 win. So the Hawks, they do get back to 500 as they're now 3-3. Evan McGaffey, 15 points, 5 rebounds. It's Godson Inagwe leading the team with points at 16 and also adding 2 blocks there. So with the soccer season at its close, many of the Lady Hawks were presented with all GLVC honors. Senior Ashley Burton was named first-team All-Conference for the 4th time in her career and is just the 5th player in history to accomplish this feat. Joining Burton on the GLVC first team was freshman Abby Polium, who was also named Freshman of the Year. Senior Maxine Pete was named to the second team, and sophomores Mackenzie Reef and Allison Burke Junior Maddie Kuhlenberg and senior Haley Markway were all named to the third team for GLVC. Now, the men's soccer team ended their season with a loss in the conference championship against Rockhurst. 2 Hawks players were recognized for their talents, beginning with junior Taylor Reese, who was announced first-team All-GLVC and Offensive Player of the Year. Reese is just the 4th player in QU history to be named Offensive Player of the Year, and joining Reese as first-team All-GLVC is redshirt sophomore Artan Amini. Amini finished his sophomore season with 6 goals and 6 assists, while Reese had 9 goals and 3 assists. And if you haven't already, watch QU TV's Hawk Talk for a more in-depth look at the fall season with Ryan Snyder, Adam Longo, and myself. But that's going to do it for sports this week. I'd like to wish all QU sports teams success in their future endeavors as I say goodbye to Quincy University. It's been really fun, Hawks.
Thank you, Andrew, for the weekly updates. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
You had plans. A baby wasn't one of them. You feel you can't afford a baby. Not now. How will you tell your parents? Your boyfriend? Are you or someone you know facing a crisis or an unplanned pregnancy? CareNet of Quincy knows making important decisions can be hard, and you need to have information you can trust. Take a moment, stop and think. Educate yourself. You are not alone. CareNet of Quincy is here to help.
Join me, Coach Marty Bell, head basketball coach of the Quincy University Hawks, live from Chicks on the River every Monday night at 6:30 p.m. or on ESPN 1440 for the Coach Marty Bell Show. Hear from our coaches and players as Ben and I recap the previous games and preview our upcoming opponents. Grab your friends and family and come out to Chicks on the River for a great meal and meet the Hawks. QU men's basketball, Chicks on the River, and ESPN 1440, a winning combination. And as always, it truly is.
'Tis the season to score the ugliest holiday sweater. In just a few years, the ugly Christmas sweater trend has evolved from a byproduct of hipster culture to an annual tradition embraced by entire families and workplaces. UglyChristmasSweater.com is one of the biggest sellers of intentionally hideous ugly sweaters. 2 brothers started the business in late 2012, and this year they're on track to sell more than $5 million worth. The styles have changed considerably in the last 3 years. Initially, the retro holiday sweaters typically featured reindeer and Christmas trees. Now it's anything goes, and the more bizarre, the better. Ugly Christmas sweaters have become a popular trend. Do any of you guys have ugly Christmas sweater designs for the season?
It's definitely not a tradition in my family, and it's definitely nothing I would start doing now. So my answer would be no, I definitely don't. I've seen them, don't have them.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have an ugly Christmas sweater. I would rock it, though. I mean, if I had one. I just haven't been able to find one because, there have been times where there have been, ugly sweater parties around campus, but unfortunately, I don't have any.
I have quite a few of them, but that's courtesy of my Uncle Jeff. So, Uncle Jeff, shout out to you back home for your, I guess, lack of style. But, yeah, I have quite a few of them.
I know I have a few too as well from my mom, and if you guys are thinking this Saturday, there's an ugly sweater Christmas party in the Hawks Nest, so you can pick one up, Andrew, and head out down there and see everybody else's sweaters.
All right.
Thank you all for joining us in this week's episode of QU All Access. Remember to tune in online on Facebook or on Channel 97 on campus for more news anytime. For the entire All Access team, I'm Courtney Gear.
And I'm Ryan Snyder. QU All Access would like to take a moment to thank Courtney and Andrew for their contributions to QU TV. We wish you both the best of luck as you graduate this semester and continue your careers. As always, thank you for watching, and we'll see you after the Christmas break, Hawks.